Colorado in their opening game came out victorious against North Dakota State, winning 31-26. Shedeur Sanders threw for 445 yards, completing 26 passes and 4 touchdowns, but had the most unluckiest pick. The run game was very productive this game, but of course, we all know the talented athlete Travis Hunter had 132 receiving yards and 3 of those touchdowns. We saw, of course, that the O-line is still mediocre and the defense needs some work. So Coach Prime and his staff are in for a long season, and hopefully they will improve from last season. But if they were to disappoint again, would it be time to ask, is Coach Prime to blame? Now, fellas, before we get into that, what were your thoughts on Colorado's opening game?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of disheartening because I just saw a lot of similar things that I saw last year. I will say that what I'm going to see with this team, skill position has never been an issue of them. They have great skill position players. I think Shedeur Sanders is a phenomenal quarterback. Travis Hunter, he might be the best football player in college football. I don't even think that that's a stretch of the imagination. He is just phenomenal. We were debating throughout the game what position should he play professionally because I feel like he could go either way. I will say that some of his, I don't know how he caught that ball. So he has incredible ball skills, and he is just a phenomenal athlete with great instincts. So I think that he enjoys playing wide receiver more than DB. I mean, who wouldn't? It's a, fascinating position. It's the flair position. He has that type of charisma, and if Prime is giving him any marketing advice on how to market yourself, being a wide receiver would definitely get you more pub and put more money in your pocket. I mean, wide receivers make more than DBs, so if it's just based off of the money, I would just go with wide receiver based off of that. In terms of college football and football in general, these games are won at the line of scrimmage. You're not going to win games through phenomenal wide receiver, running back, quarterback play. No, it's won at the line of scrimmage. There were a lot of good things that I liked about Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. I think it's kind of crazy to say that they've improved over last year just by watching one game. Shedeur has put on about 12 to 15 pounds, which I think is going to be much more needed because I don't think he's going to have any better protection than he had last year. So he's going to need to be a little bit stronger and sturdy and more durable in the pocket because he's not going to get the requisite protection. I will say this, they won 4 games last year. I could see them winning 6 games this year, so having a 2-game improvement. The biggest thing is going to be in these close games. They have to pull these games out, and I have to put a little bit more onus on Coach Prime. I think last year they could have probably won 6 games. They lost a few close games due to, in my opinion, poor coaching. These penalties, they continue to be their Achilles heel. What do penalties tie down to? Coaching. So I don't know what it is with Coach Prime. I think also sometimes he puts a little too much stock and faith in his quarterback. I understand that that's your son, and I understand you think the world of him, but sometimes you have to make the logical decision for the betterment of the team. I remember last year they had some games that went into overtime, and they were always taking the ball first on offense, and it's like, if you're just thinking about it from a logical standpoint, you want the ball second to see what you need. And he's like, well, I trust 2. That sounds good in theory, but what if Shedeur can make every play? And your defense is horrific. So if he doesn't score, you're probably going to lose the game. But I think that this season is going to be what level of coach is Coach Prime when it comes to the FBS. Is he a good to great level coach? Because right now, as of now, I don't know if he's a good coach or not. Now, he's a phenomenal recruiter. He has phenomenal aura. He has some of the best aura in sports history. But I don't know if he's a good coach on the collegiate level. I mean, we saw what you did at Jackson State. They basically won every game. But now this is tougher competition and you don't have all the talent on your team. So we will see. I don't see them going to a bowl game, and I definitely don't see them being in the national playoffs, but I do see them making a bit of an improvement. Where will Coach Prime be next year when he doesn't have Shedeur or Travis Hunter? I don't know. But this year is all about Prime. Nobody else.
Most importantly, above all else, is Shiloh going to get drafted? I'm kind of in the loop about that because, I don't know, man. Honestly, that pick 6 last year kind of helped his PR a lot because niggas weren't really talking about him. And he had a couple big hits, but he also had a couple opportunities where niggas hit him hard back too anyway. So that's a big question that I have, man. Is he gonna get drafted next year? Because it's not looking bright for him. But above all else, Coach Prime definitely in the foreseeable years definitely has to center more of his recruiting on the aspects of like O-line, building a strong O-line. They still don't have a good O-line. Like even this game, Shedeur Sanders was getting pressured so many times, and even like late in the games, like a lot of his one thing that I forgot to note was that Coach Prime made an interesting decision of not running the football on the last possession of the game. Now, I don't know if he didn't trust his running back, which could possibly be it because the running game wasn't really working as well. But he didn't run the football, which would have killed time for North Dakota State. Things like that and like late game execution, that's kind of why I think this season will lie in, because they're gonna get beat by the ranked teams. Of course, we all know that they're not well rounded. If you look at these SEC schools and other divisions, these schools are well rounded, top to bottom, have depth. Colorado doesn't really have depth. Colorado kind of reminds me more so of like 2016 Cavs or like the Phoenix Suns from like 2023. Like, well, they rely on like 2 or 3 guys, but other than that, they ain't really got much. If those 2 or 3 guys falter, they ain't really gonna be making any noise. I can kind of see them winning 6 or 7 games, which I think is actually a really good improvement from last season. Because last season they won the first couple games and then they had them ranked. Like I think it was rated like 25 or something like that. It was crazy. I'm playing college football and these guys have an 85 rating on it's insane. Like the PR and DE definitely out of sorts. Definitely looking like a bright season now for the next recruiting class. It should be very, very interesting because, as he said previously, those guys are leaving. Coach Prime's going to have to recruit. He's going to recruit some different guys. He's going to be on this, John Calipari. With Kentucky, he's going to be on this Nick Saban. You're going to get some guys on that D line, get some guys on that wide receiver. Man, get a center, get a tackle. It's going to have to be more and more varied than just having a quarterback and wide receiver and a cornerback who plays wide receiver as well, which I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Travis Hunter. I think he should pursue wide receiver. I think he's a better wide receiver than cornerback. But if he chooses quarterback, I wouldn't be too mad, honestly.
Before we swing it to Jay, so CJ, basically what you're saying is for Coach Prime, winning in FBS is a lot harder than it looks, huh?
Yeah, I mean, competition is definitely there. Like Jackson State, they were kind of just storming through everybody, and I ain't gonna lie, the highlights look pretty cool, but it wasn't much comp. It's like being a big fish in a small pond. It's like there's not many guys that can contend with it. Now when you're in like the Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean, Indian Sea, and you're facing against niggas from everywhere, it gets very, very more difficult. So he can talk all that talk. These guys are so funny, man. Like these guys have. Like when you see these guys practice, they have like their IG tags like on the back of the jersey and in replace of the last name, and it's just so stuck up to me. And the Coach Prime, he gave each student like I think it was $2,147 47 represent the dog. Like Coach Prime is hilarious, man. That's why I really can't take him seriously as a recognizable coach. Like even if you look at like other coaches, like college coaches, like even when Harbaugh was down here, I can take him seriously. But Coach Prime is just like, I don't know, man. The glamour, like shit. His dad could have went to LA and they still be as popular as he is in Colorado. So
yeah, but when you think of Coach Prime, I mean, that's how he been though, with the flash and stuff. So that's kind of what you expect when you got him as a coach. But yeah, that culture there, Colorado is definitely something different, and it's gonna be interesting to see what Prime does when when Travis Hunter's gone and Shedeur. It's interesting to see what is he gonna do. Like, is he gonna get some of them big boys? Pause. Is he gonna get some O-line? Because he can really turn that school around because he's got that motion. He's got the motion to recruit some guys. But is he gonna prioritize, the key pieces over just like a quarterback or something? I don't know. He might mess around and say, damn, I'm gonna join a NFL staff or something. I wouldn't be surprised. But after watching this game, like Mal said, you really just saw a whole bunch of last year. Looking at that schedule, really their biggest competition probably is gonna be Colorado State again. That's probably gonna be like their most competitive game because I guess that's like the rivalry thing, and last year they was playing dirty, so we're probably gonna expect that again. That's probably gonna be a very good game. It might be high scoring again. I kind of expected their schedule to be, pretty trash since they had a trash record last year. It's definitely possible for them to win more games than they did before. Now, if they don't, then I mean it's going to be on that team, and once again we might just see that mediocre line catches up to them, and that defense might get exposed, and they might have to have Travis Hunter play on both sides, and then he might be too tired to get hurt like he did last year. So it's a lot of factors. Coaching is definitely going to have to come into fruition on how successful they're going to be this season. It's not just going to be on the players, because they can only do so much, and it's going to come down to coaching in the end, especially in those big games, those games to test and see this school was good enough to leave Pac-12 and become successful without being in the Pac-12. So it's going to be an interesting season. I think their record is maybe like 6 games. I think they probably gonna win, 6 games. Their schedule, they should get the job done for the most part. So we shall see.
I hate to be this guy, but that's why I like to hear you guys' commentary when we talk about subjects like this, because it reaffirms my feeling about Coach Prime. Jalen, you talked about how you think that he has the tools to recruit. My thing is, he has the tools to recruit skill position players. I don't know if he can recruit guys on the line of scrimmage, offensive line, defensive line, because this past recruiting class would have been the class to do so. Coach Prime, he was a phenomenal player, but what position did he play? He's known for being, the greatest defensive back of all time, and he did play both sides at one point in time. So he's a great skill position player, but what evidence do we have that he knows how to coach defensive linemen, offensive linemen, that he knows how to recruit those guys? We don't have that. And I don't really want to be this guy because I'm rooting for Coach Prime. But what evidence do we have that he's a good coach? Besides that his name is Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. We really don't have any evidence of him being a good coach. Because what would we say? Let's say a college coach, right? Good college success. Good college success. Not great, good college success. And he goes to the pros. Is he going to have all of this hype? All of this anticipation? No, he's not going to have it. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the name at the end of the day. And that name has helped you as an individual. It's helped build your profile, even though your profile is already large. It helped build the profile of your son, and it helped build the profile of Travis Hunter. It's really only impacted 3 guys. But for the team, the collective, I don't think that this culture is conducive to a culture that can win games and that can build up the remainder of the players within this program. I don't think so. I don't see it if this is about getting these guys to the next level. I know he always talks about, building men for the future or whatever. All that is great. But these players, the top recruited players, they're coming because they're trying to get to that next level. And if I'm a player, 5-star athlete, unless I'm a skill position player, why am I going to Colorado? It just doesn't make any sense to go there. And with some of the stuff that he's been doing in the media, it's inconsistent and it's not what you want from a coaching perspective. I need my coach to be logical. I need my coach to be serious. And I need my coach to be non-emotional when it comes to going back and forth with the media. I need a coach that's stable. I don't really get that from Coach Prime. I get somebody he's a high energy guy when things are going well, but he's a low energy guy. He wants to go back and forth with people in the media. He wants to ban reporters when things are not going well. And we saw a lot of that. I think we can expect to see that in the coming future if they start to lose games like they did last year. I think all 3 of us have them going 6-6. So we're going to get a lot of the same commentary that we got from last year. But this time, they're not going to be coming off of a high like they did when they shocked the world last year and they beat TCU. Coach Prime is on the hot seat for me, man. He needs to show me that he's a good coach. Because last year, people were talking about him like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now we've taken a step back, and you just need to prove to me that you can coach, sir. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt last year, but he proved me wrong last year. That's all I got, man. Hopefully, Coach Prime and those guys can get to a bowl game.
I think for me to see if he's really a good coach, it'll be, really how he'll handle that team without, his son and the athlete in Travis Hunter.
Can we be honest? Dog, he can't do it at Colorado, man. They're not a big enough school or program for him to do what we want him to do, which is to win on the highest level. He's not going to be able to do it at Colorado. I think one thing that we could be affirmative on, that we could declare across the board, is the fact that yes, you can bring attention to a program that was nothing, but you can't completely turn around that program and make them a ranked team. Not with your coaching capability. Yes, with your aura, you can give more attention. You could have, Stephen A and Snoop Dogg and all of these rappers, the baby showing up to the games. You can have that. You can increase the jersey sales. You can increase the people that are coming to the game, but you can't make them a winner. Now, if he went to like a Texas or, one of those SEC schools, the bigger schools, maybe because you won't have to do so much recruiting on your own, people are going to want to come. You're going to have all of those sponsors that are going to be throwing money at those guys, the NIL, because at this point, college kids, they're going to a program for the money, for the NIL. They don't give a damn about Coach Prime. What's more important? Me getting my bag right now, or me being coached by some, great football player? He doesn't have as much pull as he thinks. He got a little lucky because his son is great, and because Travis Hunter, he views Coach Prime as a father figure. I think what I'm really getting into is that Coach Prime is a tad bit overrated. I'm sorry.